In this video series, I'm going to discuss healthy snacks for weight loss. And in this first video, I'm going to start with the salty snacks. And then in the second video, sweet snacks. The third video, I'm going to show you my healthy snacks that I eat to give you some good ideas for some good snacks. So I can better gear these videos for you and for your needs, let me know what time of day you find yourself most likely to snack. Is it in that 2 to 3 o'clock lull right after lunchtime? Is it after class? Maybe it's in the morning. Be sure to leave your comment and let me know so that I can better tailor these videos to you. And let's go ahead and dive in to my mystery grocery bag. So let's see what we've got. Right, this feels nice. Chex Mix. Now, I remember eating Chex Mix as a kid. This is a snack that's been around for a really long time. And I think that, people kind of think of this as a healthier snack, healthier than potato chips. It actually claims right here on the front, 60% less fat than regular potato chips. But let's find out if this is really a healthier product or not. So, looking over at these ingredient labels, now, the thing I want you to get in these videos is not that you have to stand there and read every ingredient label, because I actually do that, and I spend about 3 hours at the grocery store sometimes, just reading food labels. So the whole point of this video series is to save you that time so that you can just glance at a food label and pretty much immediately know whether or not that's a healthy food, whether or not this is a food that's gonna help you lose weight or not. So just glancing at this ingredient label, what pops out to me first is this partially hydrogenated soybean oil. That's trans fats. And basically what they've done is so that they can claim on the front of the label that this is actually a lower fat product, they process the fats and they do this process of partial hydrogenation. That's how they make trans fats. So even though the word trans fat doesn't appear anywhere on this bag, that's what partially hydrogenated soybean oil means. And since it's soybean oil, it's probably also GMO. So immediately we have GMOs and we have trans fats. Just looking a little bit more, we have hydrolyzed soy protein, autolyzed yeast extract. These are other names for MSG. And if you watched my Food Chemicals the Musical video, then you learned that. So again, even though there's no MSG written on here, we know that it does contain these ingredients which may contain MSG. We also, at the very end, preserved by BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene. Now, this is actually a banned food chemical that's been banned in several different countries because it's known to be a carcinogen. So just glancing at this label, we can see that there's all these weird chemicals, all these weird chemical names. So this is not a healthy product. And even though it technically is less fat than potato chips, our little claim on the front, these trans fats are not good for us. All these crazy chemicals are not good for us. So let's set this one aside and keep going. So let's see what we've got next. Alrighty, okay. Some little club crackers. Now I see these little club cracker type things a lot. This is a really common snack and they're super cheap. But let's see how they measure up when we actually turn it over and look at the ingredients. So we've got enriched flour, number 1. So most of the processed and packaged foods use enriched flour. And what that means is that this is a highly processed flour product. And again, I'm probably going to do a whole video just about enriched flour and why we want to avoid it. But these are your empty calories. These are your empty carbohydrates. When we talk about the problems with white bread, this enriched flour is a perfect example. So number 1 ingredient already, I would put this back on the shelf. And then again, just glancing at this new ingredient list, we see that it's pretty lengthy. And again, we've got things like sugar, soy. These are going to most likely be genetically modified foods. And again, I've got a whole other video on that. We've got TBHQ for freshness. Now, I don't know what's so fresh about tertiary butylated hydroxyquinone. This sounds like a chemical. Things that are fresh are things like apples, things that grow out of the ground, right? So already we have this very strong preservative, TBHQ. And then we keep going towards the end, maltodextrin, natural and artificial flavor. Sodium phosphate, yellow number 6, soy lecithin. And what I want you to get here is that this is a highly processed food. So it's not about sitting here and nitpicking every one of the ingredients. It's about being able to glance at this and say, wow, that's a lot of ingredients. And I'm seeing things like sodium acid pyrophosphate. That should be an immediate red flag that this is a highly processed product. It's definitely not going to help you lose weight. And because it's empty calories, it's not really going to help you fill up either. So it kind of defeats the purpose of even eating that as a snack. So we'll just keep on trucking here. Alrighty, Lunchables. Do you remember your first Lunchable? I remember eating these, again, something that I remember eating for many years of my life, but this is not a healthy food. And we'll just take a glance at this nutrition label and see. If you hate me for bashing on Lunchables, you can leave a comment and let me know. I'm very sorry, but this is good information for you to know. We gotta protect our family. So, just again, glancing at this ingredient list, you can recognize that's a really long ingredient list. There's a lot of stuff in this little tiny, cute, adorable little Lunchable. So again, after years and years of reading ingredient labels, I am confident in telling you that if you just glance at a nutrition label, see something really, really long, just put it back. Because I've stood there and I've read all the ingredient labels. But we'll go through some of these ingredients anyways, just to let you know. So in the turkey alone, we have turkey, water, potassium lactate, modified cornstarch, dextrose carrageenan, potassium chloride, sodium diacetate, flavor, and then it goes on. Sodium nitrite, natural and artificial flavor. So again, turkey should have one ingredient, and that's turkey. So just immediately seeing all of these different ingredients inside of the turkey alone, it should be a red flag for you. Who knew that you could put corn in turkey and still call it turkey? But that's what they're doing with things like cornstarch and maltodextrin. We also have sodium nitrite, and nitrate and nitrate have been getting a lot of attention lately, but those are just a couple among lots of these different chemicals that are really not good for your health. Then we have things like natural flavor. They're not even telling you what chemical it is. So pretty much anything with natural flavor I try to avoid. As we keep going, we have whey protein concentrate, all of these different chemicals in the pasteurized prepared cheddar cheese product. They don't even call it cheese. And then we move on into the crackers. We have partially hydrogenated oils once again. So these are those trans fats. The trans fats literally are worse for you than any of the other fats that you can eat. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be to avoid partially hydrogenated oils. And again, what you'll find if you actually read these labels is that the partially hydrogenated oils are gonna be found in almost all of the packaged and processed foods and almost all the things with a real long ingredient list. So this is not a healthy food, definitely not going to help with weight loss. And again, because this is such a highly processed food full of empty calories, it's not really going to help with your hunger either. So continuing along, let's see if there's anything good in my mystery bag. Okay, so these I found and kind of caught my attention. So this is something called Smart Fries Air Popped Potato Sticks. Now this air popped snack thing has been getting more popular. I see a lot of these different air popped products. So I saw this one. I saw that it's kind of looking like it's gonna be healthier maybe if we look at the front and how it's kind of positioning itself. So I turned it over and we'll check it out. Just immediately glancing at this label, we can see that it's got a much shorter ingredient list than most of those things that we've looked at so far. So potato, wheat flour, potassium chloride, dextrose, dehydrated onion, honey powder, fructose, non-GMO expeller pressed canola oil. So there's no MSG, there's no partially hydrogenated oils. That's a really good sign, especially because most things that are barbecue flavored do contain MSG, and that's why I wanted to read this one. But that is definitely a plus for this product, that there's no MSG, there's no partially hydrogenated oils. And then I just want to point out that there's this other little portion here that says 0 grams trans fat, no cholesterol, 1 gram sugar, no artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, or MSG. Now you can't always trust those little claims because sometimes something will say no MSG, but it'll still have partially hydrogenated oils in it. So you kind of do need to look, but this is definitely the best out of all the things that we have so far here, right? So a shorter ingredient list, this little thing here where it's showing us all the things it doesn't contain is a point in the right direction. So I'm excited because I'm actually gonna get to try these and see what they taste like. This is definitely the best snack so far. So let's see what else we have. Okay. All right, so this is a little less snacky than these other things. This is a little microwavable mashed potato something or other, but they had a whole bunch of these in the gas station. And again, I just had to say, okay, potatoes, that can't be so bad. Wrong. So I flipped it over, and this is probably the just most perfect example of something where you can glance at this label and immediately see super tiny print, really long label, a bunch of weird chemical names in there, immediately put it back. But just so you know, just to confirm that this is not a good product, we'll go through a couple of these. So we've got potatoes, and the second ingredient, partially hydrogenated oils. So literally this product is mostly potatoes and trans fats. Really, really horrific for you. As we keep going, maltodextrin, once again, soybean oil, cottonseed oil. These are GMO oils. More than likely, most of the soybean and cottonseed are GMO. We have artificial flavors again, natural flavors again. We've got all of these different crazy chemicals to preserve freshness. You know what preserves freshness? The dirt, right? So even though it says preserving freshness, if it's got a really long crazy chemical name that tells you that it's a processed food, it's not good for you. It's definitely not good for weight loss either. And as we keep going here, I wanted to kind of compare it to this one. So this is a little creamy 4 cheese something or other again, something that you microwave. And I didn't think that you could get a smaller ingredient label than this one, but sure enough, this one is actually smaller. Again, this isn't something where you need to really sit there in the store and read this entire label. You can look at ingredient label like this and know, just looking at it, that this is a highly processed food. And there's no way that buttery potatoes should have anywhere near this amount of ingredients, right? So again, on this little creamy cheese thing, partially hydrogenated oils is one of the first 3 ingredients. Natural flavor, monosodium glutamate, MSG, and then it just goes on and on and on and on. I'm not going to bore you guys by reading all of these labels, but these are perfect examples of highly processed products that definitely are not going to help you get your health or your weight in line. As we move forward, all right, let's get to something good already, right? So a lot of people have been talking about these seaweed snacks. And you can see that I was so excited about this wasabi one. I ate it as soon as I got home. But these are really, really awesome. And especially because the main thing we like about a salty snack is that it's crunchy and salty. So with these little seaweed snacks, these are becoming more and more common and easy to find, which is nice. And again, this is the cutest little ingredient label that I have seen all day, right? We've got seaweed, olive oil, and sea salt. Whoa, that's so awesome. So this gives you a perfect example of a really nice optimal nutrition label, a minimally processed food, because it doesn't have any of those weird chemicals in it whatsoever. And then I just want to show you with this seaweed that you could even take it a step up from here, and you can actually find these dried seaweed varieties. We have them really widely available here in Austin, but you can also order these online too. So if you really like the seaweed flavor, I would highly recommend this to you. These are super rich in minerals. This is really healthy. And basically with these products, you just add a little bit of water to them. Then you can eat them plain, you can add them to stuff, but the seaweed snacks are awesome, and I really, really like these. And hopefully you will like them too. The coolest thing about seaweed is that it offers lots of health benefits. It offers lots of minerals. So not only is it way better for you than potato chips, but it actually has some health benefits to offer you as well. So seaweed is something excellent. Because it has those minerals, it's gonna help your body to get rid of excess water. So trying to lose weight, incorporating these high mineral seaweed type products into your snacking regimen is gonna be a really, really great snack for weight loss. All right, we've got a couple other things in here. Dry roasted edamame. So I picked this up because it's nice when you just have something that's quick and you pick up and you stick it in your mouth and you eat it and it's easy. In some of the other videos, I'm going to actually show you my healthy snacks that I make, which are still gonna be super easy, but it's not quite this one step open and eat like this one is. But again, we've got this really just ridiculously beautiful ingredient list: soybeans and sea salt. And that's it, right? Super minimal ingredient list. So you get the idea that just glancing down at these ingredient lists, you can very quickly tell the difference between, something like this and something like this. So another good edamame stack is just to eat you can get them frozen and just have them fresh, or you can get them fresh in some cases as well. This one is not going to be quite as healthy because it is a heated product. But again, this is how you get that nice, salty, crunchy thing that's going to be really good to replace potato chips with. All right, let's see if there's anything else in this bag here. All right, we're almost to the end. So in the next video, I'm gonna do some protein bars, and I get a lot of questions from you guys about protein shakes and protein bars. So I'm gonna cover that in the next video when I talk about sweets. But I wanted to include this in this video because this one is about salty snacks, right? So this is cool. This is the first time I ever saw something like this. I actually saw this last night. So this is a grass-fed bison, gluten-free bison bar. I don't know, it was a little weird. And I don't eat meat, so I'm not planning to eat this. So I'm gonna have to get a verdict from someone else. But I thought, hey, this looks really neat. And compared to beef jerky, right? Because this is kind of would be what's replacing beef jerky. Now I didn't get any beef jerky, but again, you can just glance at the ingredient labels, and most of the conventional beef jerky products contain a whole bunch of these different chemicals, MSG, maybe even partially hydrogenated oils. You don't want it. But this thing is got a really nice little ingredient label here. So bison, uncured bacon, no nitrates or nitrites, which we talked about on the Lunchables one. Sugar, salt, vinegar, celery powder, apple juice, dried cranberries. Very minimal, little short, cute little ingredient list here. And then the main thing though was that they use 100% grass-fed bison. Now I've got several videos on this topic if you want to learn more, but eating meat eating a product that's made from grass-fed animals is going to be way better than eating factory farmed meat. Again, I have this whole other video you can click on if you want to learn more about that topic, but this really jumped out at me as saying, hey, this is actually a really cool product. It's got 11 grams of protein, which is great. So this pretty much brings us to the end of the salty snacks video, and I really am interested to know your thoughts about this. So Was there a food that I held up here today that is absolutely one of your most favorite foods and you're really PO'd at me for bashing on it? If there's a food that I showed here that you would like to know a healthy alternative for, you can let me know that too. Again, be sure to tune in for the next video that's going to be on sweet snacks and protein bars and protein shakes. And then the third video where I'm going to show you some of my healthy snack ideas and give you some good alternatives to a lot of these bad guys that we talked about today. If you want to learn more about me, you can visit my website at KarinaRachel.com. I do hope you will check out some of the related videos, subscribe to our channel so you can catch all of my future videos, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thank you so much for watching. For more information about cleansing and detoxing, check out my video, Cleanse and Detox Tips. For some simple guidelines on basic nutrition and what good foods you should be eating, check out my video, What to Eat. Check out my video, 10 Simple Ways to Improve Your Health. What are the worst, most unhealthy habits out there that are maybe undermining our health and undermining our happiness? Check out my interview with Dr. Vincent Vallonzi.